All right. Shalom, shalom, Brother Aaron, Royal Regime of Yahushua. And first and foremost, we're going to say, Call Halor Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakadash. That's all praise and glory, honor to the Most High and His only begotten Son, Yahushua, in the name of the Holy Spirit. And I hope everyone's well and blessed. Okay, tonight's class, I titled this one, Conflict Resolution. Okay, the Lord's Way. Conflict Resolution, the Lord's Way. And what we're talking about or discussing in this lesson is how to deal with strife, conflict resolution within the body. Okay, within the body, between other brothers and sisters, believers in Yahushua. Also, it could be within, say, for example, your own family or marriage. Okay, but specifically with believers. Okay, the body. That's what we're concerned with. Okay, we are a body that makes up the Lord's body in the spirit. Okay, His temple. Therefore, conflict resolution is very important, okay? It's for this not harboring strife, envy, okay? Whether it be bitterness, any type of root of envy, strife against one another, which gives way for the enemy to come in, okay? It gives way for the devil to come in and rip havoc or chaos, okay? And it always starts with a seed of deception, okay? And as we're going to see in this lesson, it takes great humility and pride sometimes. Okay, a lot of times we don't want to, it's our pride, which is a spirit in itself that try to keep us, our mouth closed, say we get offended or something goes on. We try to, keep it to ourselves. But what happens, that gives the enemy way to sow a seed of bitterness and deceit, as we're going to see in this lesson. Okay, so this is what we titled it, Conflict Resolution the Lord's Way. How does the Most High tell us to deal with brothers and sisters in the body? When offense comes up, any type of bitterness or strife, we ought to handle that immediately. Okay, so first thing I want to do, let's get Psalms 133:1. Behold, how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. See that? The Lord is about unity. Good and pleasant. How good and pleasant it is for the brethren, meaning the body, to dwell together in unity. Not division, but unity together. All right, let's get Matthew 5:23. Therefore, if thou bring thy gift to the altar, and thou rememberest that thy brother had an ought against thee, leave there thy gift before the altar, and go thy way first, be reconciled to thy brother, and then come and offer thy gift. Okay, so what this is going into, okay, you want to present something before the Lord, right? Part of our gifts make up what? Our prayer, our worship, our praise. So before you come before the Lord with something, okay, that's the gift offering, your prayers, and you remember you have some type of ought, some type of beef, some type of strife with a brother or sister. Even if they don't know about it, in your heart, you know you got an issue. Before you can give your prayer to the Lord, stop, go confess that. Admit that to the brother or sister. What is the beef? What is the problem? Go to the brother or sister first. Then you come back, and now the Lord can be able to accept and hear your prayer. Okay, other than that, it's going to be blocked because the Lord doesn't deal with that strife, envy, that root of evilness that's in your heart. So that's what it's going into. Before you offer that sacrifice, first go make it right with your brother or sister. Then the Lord is able to hear you. Okay, and let's get a precept on that. St. John 9:31. Just to show you the Lord can't hear you, He looks at that as sin, right? When you harboring that anger, that bitterness towards your brother. Now we know that Yahweh heareth not sinners. See that? But if any man be a worshiper of Yahweh and do it His will, He heareth him. So the Lord looks at that anger, that ought you holding, that grudge against your brother and sister, that's sin in His eyes. And we just read the Lord heareth not sinners. So before you offer, present your gift, your sacrifice to the Lord, make sure you go clear that up with your brother and sister first. All right. Let's get Matthew 9 and 13. But go ye and learn what that meaneth. I will have mercy and not sacrifice. For I am not come to call the righteous, but sinners to repentance. So part of that, when Yahweh Shah said, go learn what that means, I would rather have mercy than sacrifice. That goes into that. Offering up your gift, your thanksgiving, your prayer. Okay, the Lord, rather than what you could do or say for the Lord, it's not going to be insincere. It's not going to be accepted fully until you go and make right. Okay, that's that. I would rather basically obedience over sacrifice is another precept. Do before you offer some type of sacrifice unto me. And the main way we sacrifice today is through the fruit of our lips. Okay, but before I can receive or accept anything from you, what the Lord is saying, go make it right with your brother and your sister first. Okay, let's get 1 Peter 2 and 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, a holy priesthood, to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to Yahweh by Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So the sacrifice that we offer before the Lord is spiritual. Okay, that's in obedience, our works, our prayers. Okay, but before the Lord can see or honor that, we have to make sure our heart is pure when we come before Him with our spiritual sacrifice. All right. Let's get 1 Peter 5 and 5. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Yahweh resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Okay, and that's huge. Humility. It takes a lot of humility, because sometimes when we feel like a certain thing, or we let's say we feel offended or something wrong, or it's an ought against our brother and sister, that's why that ego, that's why that pride comes into effect. Okay, well, I don't want them to know that, whether it's just straight up pride. I don't want them to know I feel some type of way, or they got me feeling this type of way, or insecurity, or whatever it may be. Okay, that's the play of the devil try to use on us. Okay, whether it's within the body, this happens to a lot of us, even within relationships. Could be our best friends, even within our marriages. Okay, the second we realize it's some type of art, or the enemy is trying to, anytime you feel some type of way, okay, that's how you know the enemy is trying to sow their seed there. So that's what that's saying. You have to have that humility. Okay, let me read it again. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility. For Yahweh resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble. Going, once again, that's going into offering your spiritual sacrifice. The Lord is going to resist you if you can't be humble. Okay, He resisted the proud, but He gives grace to the humble. Verse 6, humble yourselves therefore under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that He may exalt you in due time. All right, now let's go from, let's get Proverbs 16:18. Pride goeth before destruction, but a haughty spirit before a fall. See that? So that ego, that pride that keeps us from clearing the air or clearing out a soul between the brothers and sisters in the body, that keeps our mouth shut, or that feeling, that's a spirit. That's a demon, that pride. And this is what the Lord is showing us, okay? That's how important this is, okay? Because you got people every day. These are people in the body that we're referring to specifically. This is the instructions for the brotherhood, for the family of Yahweh Shah, who operate like this every day. Go around one another's, okay? Breaking bread, eating, in people's face, hanging out with them. Okay, like I say, sometimes it's your own spouse. You laying in the bed with them, day in, day out. But knowing deep inside you harboring a certain type of root of bitterness or unforgiveness or whatever it may be, you know it's something. So the immediate, when we know those things, we have to humble ourselves down and what? Confess that, clear the air. Okay, that way the Lord can what? He can receive our spiritual sacrifice. He can hear our prayer. Okay, he can honor us. All right. Let's see. Let's get where we want to go from here. Let's get Matthew 18 and 15. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So this is like the number one rule, okay? This is Yahushua red letter speaking. This is how you deal with that resolving conflict, resolving that strife, okay? Any type of bitterness or negative ill will that comes up between another brother or sister, the Lord is telling us how to deal with it. You go to that brother and sister directly. Go to them right away. Okay, don't go to nobody else. It ain't nobody else's business. Don't go. This is what you see today. Somebody got a problem with somebody, usually in the world. That's the way the world operate. They don't tell that person what. They go to everybody else. That's why I don't mess with them. I don't fool with them. So-and-so, they did this, they did that. No, you go directly to that individual. Whatever you feel like offended or done something, you communicate with them directly, one-on-one. Okay, moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and he alone. And if he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. So it's showing you most of the times it's a misunderstanding anyway. Okay, you might go, you feel like, okay, something was said or done to you. You follow the Lord's way, what he's talking about right here. Go to that person directly alone, let them know. Hey, man, hey, brother, hey, sister, you know, this was said, this was done. This is the way that made me feel. You know, most of the times they didn't realize it anyway. It might be one of them things, you know what, bro, you know what? I had no idea. I had no idea you felt that way. When I said this, I didn't mean it like that. See, a lot of times it's a simple misunderstanding. But when you keep your mouth shut like that, that allows the devil to come in and wreak havoc. See? Opposed to if you went to him immediately right away, let him know this is what it's saying. It could have been resolved right there. If he hear thee, oh, you know what? You right. This is what I mean. I didn't mean it like that. Please forgive me. I apologize. Forgive me. That's the end of it. See, you kept your brother. You gained your brother, your sister. That's the end of it. See, verse 16. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of two or three witnesses every word may be established. So your brother, your sister do something to you, say something that offend you. You go to them first, okay, one-on-one, nobody else. Let them know, okay, with a respectful, polite demeanor. Look, this is what's said, this was done. This is how this made me feel. If they hear thee, good. If not, it's saying, then you take one or two more people. One or two more witnesses. That's why I say out of the mouth of two or three witnesses, every matter may be established. Why is the Lord saying take one or two more? Because sometimes a person can't see their fault. But if you have righteous judgment, you have one or two more witnesses, nothing biased. They ain't got nothing to win, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. And the problem is presented to them. You able to see what from a different perspective. Okay, because what the scripture say, every man way is right in his own eyes. You might feel like you right. They might feel like they right. So this is why the third or fourth party come in. Once again, a non-biased opinion to hear the matter, then judge according to the scriptures. Okay, now what happened? This was said. This was done. Now, you know what, brother? You know what, sister? You wrong. Okay, you wrong. Then sometime maybe they could receive it. They see, well, okay, well, I got two or three more people all telling me I was wrong. Okay, sometimes that's what it takes, just for them to see, okay, well, I got more than one person all saying the same thing. The issue is me. Verse 17. And if he neglect to hear them, tell it to the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man and a publican. So the last scenario, right? You then went to them one-on-one. They wasn't trying to hear it. You took 2 or 3 more witnesses. They wasn't trying to hear the witnesses. Get out of here, man. I want whatever. I'm not trying to hear that. Then you present it before the church or the body. If they refuse to hear the whole church, then what is that saying? The Lord is saying, okay, at that point, you got to reject them. Let them be as a heretic, because what is that saying? They don't care if they right or wrong. Even if they wrong at that point, that's like saying they can't take rebuke. They're not willing to take or receive correction. They happy with that folly, okay? They plead. Even if they are wrong at that point, what they saying, basically, they don't care. Okay, so at that point, you pretty much just wash your hands with them at that point. Because it's not only you, not 1 or 2 witnesses, you got the whole congregation all telling them the same thing. So if you can't hear the whole body, then what? You just a rebel. All right? Let's get, let me jump up to verse 6. But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believeth in me, it were better for him that a milestone were hung around his neck, and that he would drown in the depths of the sea. Now, in this instance, the little ones is talking about the believers. Okay, so this is talking about the brothers and sisters in the body. So whoever offends, and this is intentionally offended, okay, because you have people who do this. Intentionally offend, say stuff, do stuff intentionally to cause harm and havoc. So if you intentionally causing one of Yahweh's sheep to go astray, you intentionally wreaking havoc and doing evil, this is what the Lord's saying. Okay, they got some serious judgment coming their way. Verse 7, woe unto the world because of offenses, for it must need be that offenses come. But woe unto that man by whom the offense cometh. So in this world, there's going to be offenses, okay? Problems, situations, people going to offend you. It's going to come up, what it's saying. We in a fallen world. It's going to be things that offend. But it's saying, woe to the person who's causing the offense. You want to make sure you're not the one that's doing things intentionally to offend brothers and sisters. Okay? That's the main thing. Make sure you're not that one that's causing the offense. And if you even cause an offense, this is what we learn in conflict resolution the Lord's way. A brother, sister come to you and tell you, hey, this what was said, this was done, this offended me. That's why humility comes in. Sometimes you have to swallow your pride. You might not even see it that way. But you have to really be open, humble yourself. You know what? If this truly made you feel some type of way, if this truly offended you, brother, sister, forgive me, I'm sorry. Okay, that's why pride and humility come in both ways. It takes some serious humility. Sometimes you don't see you wrong right away. See that? But you have to take your pride, your flesh out of it and really hear what a brother or sister saying. For brother, you love your brother and sister like the Lord told us to do, and they telling you, hey, this hurt me, this set me. Even though it might not seem like a big deal to you, if it hurt them, okay, it should hurt you. You humble yourself down, you apologize, repent. Ask your brother or sister for forgiveness, okay? And that's usually the end of it, all right? Let's see. Let's get 21, 22. Let me get them 2 verses. Then came Peter unto him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? Till 7 times? So Peter's asking Yahweh a question. Say my brother or sister do something to offend me. How many times I'm supposed to forgive them of that? Just 7? 7 times? Yahweh said unto him, I say unto thee, until 7 times, but until 7. Yeah, let me read that again, verse 22. Yahweh say unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So Yahweh say, no, not just 7 times, but 70 times 7. And when he says 70 times 7, that's not literally saying, some people think that's saying, well, let me calculate what much is 70 times 7. Then whatever that number come out to be, that's how many chances you got. No, it's not saying that. 70 times 7, he's saying innumerable. okay, or infinity. It's no real number. It's no exact number. Say, okay, you were to your what? This the 2003rd time you done this. No more forget. No, it's saying no matter how many times you feel like you wrong, okay, or your brother or sister done something wrong, if they truly coming to you with repentance, seeking forgiveness, you obligated to let it go. You obligated to forgive them. So you see how it takes humility on both sides. That's some serious, serious humility when you feel like you know you right. You know this person wronged you. Okay, and not only that, but they didn't wrong you more than once or twice. Okay, but for whatever reason, they coming back crying, really, you know it's in the spirit of serious. They seriously seeking forgiveness and coming in the spirit of humility. Well, you leave that up to the Lord. You just got to do your part. The Lord is telling you your part. If they come to you in forgiveness, you got to forgive them. Okay, and part of that reason, if you really want to be real, think how many times we didn't sinned against the Lord, even in this truth. If you really want to be real, think how many times we done done something against the Lord, but yet we turn around and ask for forgiveness. So the same way we want the Most High to forgive us, that's the standard, by the way. Okay, I'm going to try to get that script. That's the standard, by the way, the Lord is judging looking at us. However much you able to forgive or mercy you show to others, that's how much forgiveness and mercy the Lord is going to show unto you. Okay, so that's why it's so serious. Let's see. Let's get Matthew 6:14. For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. See that? But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. So this is kind of what it's predicated on. This is what makes it so serious. That's why, although sometimes that's why that humility comes in. You feel like, man, no, they did this, they said this, I'm not going to forget. But when you understand this, wait a minute, the Lord said, if I don't forgive him, he can't forgive me. Well, ain't nothing could be done or said to me that serious to where I'm going to not forgive them and jeopardize the Lord forgiving me. So it's not worth it is what it's saying. All right. Let's get 2 Corinthians 2:10. Because remember, Satan walketh to and fro like a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Okay, he waits for these offenses and these strifes to come up amongst the body so he could cause division. Remember, the Lord is all about unity. Okay, the enemy is about division. This is 2 Corinthians 2:10. To whom ye forgive anything, I forgive also. For if I forgave anything, to whom I forgave it, for your sakes forgive I it in the person of Yahushua, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see why it's so important to have that humility and to be able to forgive your brother and sister their faults? Because if not, that's why Satan is going to come in. Okay, that spirit, that little seed, that strife that you feel, that anger, that this or that, you don't handle it right away. Okay, this is what it's showing. You open the door for Satan now, for those demons. All of those are spirits, that envy, that hatred, that wrath, that anger. All of those are spirits that you just left the door open for all of that to come in. Okay, it's like an old saying, you get a devil an inch, he gonna take a mile. All right. Let's see. Let's grab 1 Corinthians 14:33. For Yahweh is not the author of confusion, but of peace in all the churches of the saints. So that strife spirit, that envy, that confusion is showing you that's not of the Lord. The Lord ain't the author of confusion, but what? Of peace. See, the Lord is about unity, love, peace. Let's get James 3:13. Who is a wise man and endowed with knowledge among you? Let him show out of a good conversation his works with meekness of wisdom. But if ye have bitter envying and strife in your heart, glory not, and lie not against the truth. For this wisdom descended not from above, but is earthly, sensual, devilish. So it's letting you know that envy, that jealousy, that hatred, that strife, that's of the devil. Verse 14. For where envying and strife is, there is confusion in every evil work. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, then gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without brutality and without hypocrisy. And the fruit of righteousness is sown in peace of them that make peace. See that? The Lord is all about that fruit of making peace, that spirit of righteousness, not holding on to those things that's going to allow the devil to come in and wreak havoc. Galatians 5:19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of which I tell you before, as also I told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. Okay, so if your salvation, if the kingdom is predicated on these things, don't let it be found in you. Okay, all of those things, that those grudges, the hatred, that wrath, all of this works of the flesh. All right, let's go ahead and read verse 22. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And they that are of Yahushua is crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. So, let me go and finish it out. Verse 25. If we live in the Spirit, let us walk also in the Spirit. And let us not be jealous of vainglory, provoking one another, envying one another. Okay, so this is just giving us the spirit that we want to avoid, and the spirit, or the fruits of the Spirit. Okay, it's the opposite of what you see in what? Hatred, wrath, fruit, the opposite of the fruits of the flesh. Okay, we want to operate through the fruits of the Spirit. That's what the Spirit of the Lord is. That's the type of people He's dealing with. Okay, remember, He giveth grace to the humble, but resist the proud. Let's see. Let's get Proverbs 20:3. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. Okay, so the righteous thing, right? It says it's an honor for a man to cease from strife. The Lord ain't about that strife, that conflict spirit. But every fool will be meddling. A fool is going to keep it going. Okay, a fool is going to do the opposite of the things of the Spirit. He's going to operate in the flesh, okay, which is going to what? It's like kindling a fire. Okay, making it worth throwing wood on a flame. Okay, more foolishness. He's gonna keep harboring it. Okay, keep holding on to it to what it grows and grows and grows, get worse and worse. We want to do the opposite. Okay, conflict resolution the Lord's way. This is what all these scriptures are for. The Lord is telling us how to keep those conflicts, how to keep that strife from amongst the body. Ephesians 4:26. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down up on your wrath, neither give place to the devil. So what is that saying? Be ye angry, sin not. Let not the sun go down on your wrath. Okay, you deal with it immediately. A lot of times, once again, through pride, through stubbornness, ego, we try to hold on. I'm not going to talk about it right now. I'm not going, I don't, like I said earlier, I don't want to come across as insecure. Let them know that I feel some type of way. No, because if you do harbor it, you do hold on to it. This is what we read. You giving place to the devil. Those spirit, the enemy finna come in. Now, something that could have been that small if you would have just handled it up front. Now you what? You let your mind, the enemy start playing on your mind. More thoughts. Now you start remembering other situations. Or the last time they said this, or did this, or did, and it goes on and on and on. See, so something that could have been kindled, or quite like a little flame, a spark that could have been put out right away if you just used the water of the word, the way the Lord said handle it. But what? You didn't do that. You just continued to throw wood in the fire. Just continued to make it what? Bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay, so let me read that one more time. Be ye angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down on your wrath. Don't wait till the next day. Don't wait 2 weeks later, a year later. Why do you just say, hey, then it blow up? That's when it come out, it blow. You've been holding that in all that time. When it finally come out, boom. It's something way more serious than what it would have been if you would have dealt with it right there. Verse 27, neither give place to the devil. How do you give place to the devil? By not resolving it right away. By not dealing with it the way the Lord say deal with it. All right? Hebrews 12 and 14. Follow peace with all men and holiness without which no man shall see the Lord. So showing you the Lord is about peace. As much as it depends on you, follow peace. Verse 15, verse 15. Looking diligently lest any man shall fail of the grace of Yahweh, lest any root of bitterness springing up trouble you. See that? And thereby many be defiled. So how does that root of bitterness spring up? The Lord is telling us, look diligently, mean what? Guard yourself. Watch for this spirit. Look diligently, lest any man fall from the grace of God, lest any root of bitterness spring up trouble you, and thereby many be defiled. So many people are defiled because what? Because of offense, something that's said, something that's done, they allow that root of bitterness to spring up in their heart. Verse 16. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold their birthright. Going back to Jacob and Esau for an example. Esau sold his birthright, but what happened? If you read Genesis 27:41, he said, my father Isaac is old. The days of my father Isaac, once he die, I'm going to slay my brother Jacob. All the way into this very day. Okay, what did that start with? A root of bitterness came in Esau. He sold his birthright. He made a vow to slay his brother Jacob. And it's the same we can learn from our spirit today. What a minute that offends something is done, we don't handle it. This is what the Lord is showing us. You don't handle it right away. This is what's going to happen. That root of bitterness is going to eventually spring up. You done left the door open. Satan going to come in, make matters worse before you know it. Okay, you got a whole something that's a whole mountain. Okay, that could have just, it was nothing. Could have been put out in the beginning. All right. Let's see. Let's get let's go ahead and get Romans 12 and 18. If it be possible, as much as light in you, live peaceably with all men. Okay, as much as it's possible with you, meaning you do everything the Bible, everything the Lord commanded you to do to keep the peace. There will be certain situations to where it's kind of out of your control. It's kind of like you got some people with just spirits on them that's just not going to like you for whatever reason, or, even though you done and said, you done tried to make peace, it's just a spirit on them that's their issue at that point. You didn't done what you supposed to do, what the Bible tell you to do. Okay, I'm not gonna harbor it. They said this, they did this. I'm gonna go to them one-on-one. I'm gonna tell them what happened. I ain't gonna run my mouth to nobody else. They don't receive. I might take one or two more witnesses. You didn't follow everything the Lord has said do in his word. Okay, but yet for whatever reason, they just want to be a demon. Okay, like the Lord said, the last issue, let them be as a heretic. Let the Lord deal with them in that case. Okay, but as much as it depends on you, that means you doing what the Bible told you to do, humbling yourself, swallowing your pride, and you doing what the Lord told you to do. Okay, if it be possible, as much as lied with you, live peaceably with all men. Dearly beloved, avenge not yourself, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord. So going back to what we read earlier in Matthew 18, you do got a spirit that's just causing offense on purpose. They saying they doing things to just intentionally be a demon, just evil. Okay, let the Lord deal with that. You don't go and take matters in your own hand. You follow the Bible, what the Lord told you to do. Give it to him, and in due time, or whatever we just read, vengeance is mine, I will repay. But see, you don't want to turn the Lord's wrath by you handling your way. Now you take matters in your own hand. It's possible that the Lord turn his wrath on you, because we see we are the example. We the believers, we the body. Therefore, we have to operate what? Like the Lord told us to operate. Okay, so give it to the Most High. Let's get James 5:9. Grudge not one against another, brethren, lest ye be condemned. Behold, the judge standeth before the door. So again, we seeing grudge not with one another. The Lord is the judge. He stand at the door. Okay, the Lord ain't about that confusion, that division, that bickering, that strife, the grudging between the brotherhood. 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So see that this even goes into relationships of marriage. Okay, the Lord said what? You come together, you one flesh. Okay, that one flesh is what? One accord, one mind. Okay, under the Lord. So therefore, if it's anything that's conflict, any bitter, any angry that's in that body, okay, what that's basically going to hinder your prayers. Okay, the Lord doesn't deal with that. Spirit is what it's showing you. So if you want that prayer line, that communication, you want that body, that one flesh to be pure, undefiled before the Lord, or why you could present your sacrifice, remember, which is your part of your prayers or your spiritual sacrifice you offer to the Lord. You want him to receive that spiritual sacrifice of your prayers, then that's what it's saying. Make sure that's not amongst you, else what? Else your prayers is going to be hindered. You can't be feeling some type of way, grudges, bitterness with your spouse, then think you're going to go before the Lord and hear you. Okay, that's what. No, go make art. Go. If you ever art, go make it right with your brother, sister, your wife, whoever. Then you present your sacrifice before the Lord. Then you could come before the Lord in prayer, and now he can hear you. All right. Let me read verse 8. Finally, be ye all of one mind, having compassion one of another. Love as brethren. Be pitiful. Be courteous. Let's see. Let's get James 1:14 and 15. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. But when lust had conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. Okay, so even with this, you could say, okay, every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust. It go back to what I said earlier. Sometimes the person you might feel like, okay, I didn't do nothing wrong. Say somebody came to you with a particular art. Okay, they have an issue. Okay, it could sometimes be your own insecurities. It could be something that person is dealing with. Okay, you might not even mean it like that, but they took it a certain way. Why? Because that mind is thinking a certain way, or they have a certain insecurity spirit that they're dealing with. So they took it to heart or to offend. Sometimes it could be like a simple joke. Okay, but because of their own temptation, okay, or they own lust or things of that nature, they might be enticed by that. They might take it the wrong way and what that spirit grow. Okay, then when lust had conceived, it bring it forth sin, and when it's finished, it bring it forth death. Okay, and of course, this is also talking about sin, personal sins and temptations. You act on something based off of temptation, it grows. What when you act on it now is sin. At the end of sin, what Romans 6:23, the wages of sin is death. But in the case of this lesson, this is applicable. Why? Because it's the same thing. Hating your brethren and things of that nature, the Lord looks at that as sin. Okay, if not, it'll grow, and what the end of that is death. Okay, that's why I say, do not err, my beloved brethren. Uh, One moment. That's how you was gonna break it down. All right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get Sirach 9 and 1. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against thyself. So also, this is what a lot of people do, believe it or not, even in marriages, right? You got a spouse, your spouse supposed to be your best friend. But you got some people who might feel a certain way, say something is said or done, and rather than you communicating that with the person right away, what that spirit, Satan comes in, oh, I'm gonna show you. Okay, I'm on. They did what? Or they know better than this, or whatever. They did it anyway, or they might once again and go back. They might then realize it, but yet you looking at it, or that spirit then came in. Okay, oh, I'm gonna show them. Or it kind of goes back into that tit for tat type spirit. I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do something. I feel this way. I'm gonna make you feel it. I can show you better than I can tell you. All that's of the devil is what it's saying. Be not jealous over the wife of thy bosom, and teach her not an evil lesson against herself. Okay, so that's you taking matters in your own hands. Oh, they said they done this. I feel this type of way. That's how it feel. I'm gonna do so. That's wicked as hell. Okay, the Lord didn't tell us to deal with it like that. That's once again, that's why humility comes in. And that's hard to do sometimes. Humble down, get in the spirit. Hey, rather than try to teach somebody a lesson, hey, this was said, this was done, that's how they made me feel. Okay, now the ball is in that person's court. They got to humble down. Okay, I didn't realize that, but that's how you feel. Hey, you know what? I humble down. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Go from that. Then that's usually the end of it. See, that's why communication is very important amongst the body, period. Satan wants you, remember the scripture we said, let not the sun go down on your anger. That's what the devil wants. Keep your mouth shut. Why? So that seed that could grow, that bitterness, that confusion, that wrath, just grow. Why? Because you didn't communicate. You didn't confess it right there. See? All of that tie into that. That's the tricks or the devices of the devil. I ain't gonna say nothing. I don't want them to think I feel this or it did this or insecure. No. Now you open, you giving the devil a foothold. Okay, do it the Lord's way. All right. Let's see. Let's get John 13, St. John 13:34. Because this is what it all boils down to. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved ye, that ye also love one another. By this shall all men know that you are my disciples, if you love one another. Okay, so you can't love one another if we operating in the opposite, through the flesh, holding grudges, hatred, anger, wrath, all of that. No, the Lord ain't dealing with that. Okay, love one another as I have loved thee. Think about all the crap and foolishness and sins we done, but what? The Lord say, you repent, you confess, I still love you. Okay, same concept. Matthew 22:35.
Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yahushua said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all their heart, and with all their soul, and with all their mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. See that? On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Okay, so the two greatest things we could do. Okay, number one, love the Most High God with all our heart, soul, and mind. How do we do that? By what? Serving him the way his words say serve him. Then number two, loving our brother, loving our neighbor as ourself. Everything we know to do right, loving them according to the scriptures. Okay, I'm going to follow the word of the Most High. I'm going to do unto them as I will have them do unto me. Okay, that means what? Any type of odd strife, offense. If something is offensive, the second I realize that, hey, I wouldn't want to be, I wouldn't want to feel like that. I wouldn't want them to do me like that. I wouldn't want them to say this to me. Okay, so sometimes it's just being able to, stay in the spirit, put yourself in the other person's shoes. Okay, humble down. This is how this made you feel. Okay. Forgive me, apologize, see it from their perspective is all it's saying. Sometimes just take yourself out of it and try to see from the other person's perspective. All right, let's go ahead. Let me close out right here. 1 Corinthians 13 and 1, let's see. Though I speak, let me see. 1 Corinthians 13 and 1. Though I speak with the tongues of men, of angels, and have not charity, I am become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal. Charity is going into love. The highest form of charity, by the way, is what? Teaching your brothers and sisters. Okay, when we operate through the scriptures, we teach one another the scriptures. That's the highest form of charity. Okay, but yet it's still dealing with love. The opposite of that, wrath, anger, strife. Verse 2. And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith so that I can move mountains, if I have not charity, I am nothing. Though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned and have not charity, it profit me nothing. So basically, long story short, no matter what you do, if you're not operating in the spirit of love, it means nothing. You could give all you give in the world, money, time, whatever. You can say whatever you want to say out your mouth, all the good things in the world. But yet, if it's not backed really with the spirit of love, it means nothing. You got a lot of people who do things out of deceptions. Just because somebody do a good deed don't mean their heart or their spirit is really in it. Okay, so the Lord is looking at the spirit, the heart. Make sure everything you do is rooted in sincerity and love. Let me get verse 4. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envieth not. See that? Charity, if only not itself, is not puffed up. Okay, let me see. Verse 5. Do not behave itself unseemly. Seek it not her own. Is not easily provoked, think it no evil. Rejoice it not in iniquity, but rejoice it in truth. All right. Let me see. Let me go and jump down to verse 13. All of this is good, but just we see the point. Verse 13. And now abideth faith, hope, charity. These three, but the greatest of these is charity. Okay, so the most important thing you could do is have charity. Like I say, that's love, the most highest form of charity. You edifying your brothers and sisters through the scriptures, okay, as well as applying the scriptures. So everything we learning, how to deal with conflict, how to resolve conflict, we actually applying the Lord's word and living in it, walking in it. That's the highest form of charity, okay? So we're going to go ahead and close out with that. Once again, that's been conflict resolution the Lord's way. I pray that this lesson has been edifying. Until next time, we're going to say Shalom. We out.